hello. I have arrived. Oh, it seems that... Seems that I'm having some sort of microphone issue. Oh dear. Hold on. Is that... Huh. Or at the very least... I guess I don't know that it's an issue, but it doesn't seem... Oh. Nope, it's definitely... Hold on. Alright, I thought I had this set up already, but I suppose perhaps I do not. Hold on a second. Because yeah, I'm definitely... My audio monitoring is picking up that I'm getting some sort of background noise, which is unusual. Got everything turned on properly. Got all my plugins running. So yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I guess we're just going to have to live with it for right now because I don't want to delay too much. Oh well. A tragic fate. But yes, so, hello, I've arrived. But yeah, it's been a little bit, huh? I think at this point I ended up taking another unplanned week-long hiatus. So, thank you for your patience during this time. But yeah, fortunately, you know, there has not been any significant trouble, I would say. But yeah, more so it has been a time of addressing some troubles that I've been having. So that's good, at the very least. But yes, so, among other things, I've been adjusting my sleep schedule a little bit, and more so than that, I've been adhering to a sleep schedule a little bit, which is a big help in a lot of ways. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose I won't get too much into anything because I want to have something to talk about while we play the game, because I feel like this is the sort of game that I'll probably want to have something to focus on while I'm playing it. But yes, so let's see, what is there that I do want to say before we get started? Well, I suppose let's start off with the business, the usual business. Today we are playing Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. I've realized to my deep shame that I misspelled his name in my tweet, I'm pretty sure, because I looked at the title of this video game, and I saw that the name had more, I think, T's in it than I had expected. So I think, or that I remembered. So I think I misspelled his name. My apologies to Bennett Foddy if you are watching. But yes. So let's see. Right, wait, hold on, I was going to talk about something else than that. Okay, schedule, right, okay. A little bit out of sorts. Always am whenever I've had any disruption to the schedule whatsoever, basically. But yes, so. Yeah, I definitely misspelled it. I just double-checked because it means that much to me, I must admit. So, today, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. Tomorrow, Tales of Arise. Thursday should be more of... But yeah, we should finally be getting back to the collab with Sheppy Sheps. Friday should be more Tales of Arise. But yes. So, let's see. Yeah, time. So, today, stream, now. It is happening as we speak. Tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. But yes, so that should be everything that needs to be said vis-a-vis the schedule. So, let us get to the video game. Oop. Yeah, it feels weird to not spend so much time talking about things before we get into things, but I'm already a little bit late. Alright. So, new game. But yeah, so getting over it. Never played this game before. Ooh. There's some interesting sort of stickiness almost with certain types of motions. Maybe my desk is a little bit crowded around my mouse. So maybe, no, it definitely, I guess it does to a certain extent. Yeah, I think it is, Yeah, unless there's something very specifically wrong with my mouse, I do think it seems to be at least somewhat based on the momentum of the hammer, the speed at which, yeah, I don't know, I expected it to be a little bit snappier. I suppose that's on me. Swinging around a hammer is not the most agile of tasks, I suppose. But yeah, so, getting over it. No particular reason why I chose this game. I've just been thinking, you know what? I've kind of wanted to play Getting Over It on stream for a good long while now. And I figured, you know, what better time than now? I wanted to take a little break from Splatoon 3, and what better way to relax than with some Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. But yeah, so I've not played this game before. I've seen it be played. But I've never played it. As evidenced.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have,
oh dear.
Or if you left your wallet at
There
home
we go.
and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute. If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red, but it came
And
up
of course, we need to stick around to listen to the life lessons from Bennett
and then
Foddy.
immediately dropped food on it. If you won an argument with a friend
But
and then
yeah,
later discovered
I will
that
say
they just
I've
returned to
never had a shirt
starting
dry
over
cleaned.
is harder than starting up.
Never had
If you're not
a
ready
shirt
for
dry
that,
cleaned.
Like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through might be too much.
Might be
Feel
too
free
much.
to go away and come back. I'll be here.
But yes, I've never had a shirt dry cleaned, but I was recently at a wedding some time ago, and I had a shirt that was repeatedly stained
Right.
quite
Thanks for
significantly
coming with me on this trip. I'll
because of
understand if you have to
the
take a
wind
break
blowing
today.
food onto me,
Just
basically.
find a safe place to stop and quit the game.
Oop.
Don't worry, I'll save your progress always, even your mistakes.
But yeah, it's a feeling not unlike. Honestly, it's hard to describe the feeling of how the hammer handles. I was going to describe it as being a bit like mouse acceleration, because it does, if you move the cursor faster, it does respond faster, the hammer, but not quite that concept, I don't think. Nice. But yeah, so to get into the personal business that I was talking about, for one thing, I've been working on my sleep schedule, like I said. But yeah, that has been probably one of the more significant, at least just on a sort of personal level for me, events of this past week or so. Because yeah, I think, now that I think about it, it might have been more than a week. It feels like it's been a week, but it also feels like last week was a really long week. So maybe I'm just conflating a period of somewhat longer than a week. My perception of time has never been the keenest. But yeah, I definitely don't think this is the mouse is doing. I think this is the game. I don't think my mouse is malfunctioning or anything like that, or being crowded out, because I've cleared the space.
This game is a homage to a free game that came out in 2002, titled Sexy Hiking. The author of that game was Jazor, a mysterious Czech designer who was known at the time as the father of B games. And B games are rough assemblages of found objects.
I don't know.
Slap them
I'm
together
torn.
Very quickly and
I'm torn very much
too
between
rough and
wanting to listen to Bennett Foddy's
They're built more for the joy of building
monologues.
them than as polished products.
Hold on. Nope. Okay, I was gonna say, do I have game audio? I do. But yeah, I want to listen to Bennett Foddy a little bit because I've never actually heard him speak in like properly before. Because again, when I've watched this, the context I have watched this have either been in a stream or in a speed run, sometimes both. But yeah, a stream with commentary or a speed run with speed, and thus little time for Bennett Foddy to dwell upon any of his particular thoughts for very long. But yeah, of course, in theory, one also, or the audience would also like to hear me. So I have to consider whether to let Bennett Foddy do his speaking purely, or to contribute my own thoughts whenever he is speaking. Whoop. I suppose we'll probably have many moments like this, where our good friend Bennett Foddy has nothing more to add to our situation, and thus I'll probably be able to speak freely. But still something for me to think about, I suppose. But yeah. So in a pretty significant part, a lot of the reason that I chose this game was just because, like I said, wanted to take a little break from Splatoon 2. And again, I'm definitely sticking with Tales of Arise. I have no intentions of putting that on a hiatus or anything. Whoops. Okay, I'm probably being a little bit too delicate here. There's only so much finesse you can apply with a sledgehammer, I suppose. But yes, so what was the last complete thought that I was working with? Sleep schedule. So yeah, so my sleep schedule is not much different from what it was before. The biggest difference is that I'm making it better, or I'm making more of an effort to stick with it.
In a certain way, Sexy Hiking is the perfect embodiment of a B game.
Mm-hmm.
It's built almost entirely out of found and recycled parts, and it's one of the most unusual and unfriendly games of its time. In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer.
Much like this.
That act of climbing, in the digital world or in real life, has certain essential properties that give the game its flavor.
Speaking of climbing, Celeste is another game that I've wanted to play on stream.
Cliffs are too sheer or too slippery.
Whoop.
And the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything.
Oh dear, things are happening on my other monitor. I wonder if this coffee cup probably can't support my weight in any meaningful way. But I wonder if, like, it would support it at all. Obviously, it would be unstable.
Anyway, when you start Sexy Hiking, you're standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire rest of the game.
Lost track of where my cursor was there for some reason.
It might take you an hour to get over that tree. And a lot of people never got past it.
Alright.
You prod and you poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and over.
I suppose this is another opportunity to interact with the coffee cup.
Most obstacles in video games
it doesn't seem to have done that.
You can be completely confident in your ability to get through them once you have the correct method or the correct equipment, or just by spending enough time. In that sense, every pixelated obstacle in Sexy Hiking is real.
There we go. But yeah, I don't want to be angled outwards, because then when I don't know if the angle matters that much. It almost certainly matters quite a bit, but yeah, well, I was going to say it seemed to influence my direction there quite a lot, but I also deflected against the upper rock, I think. So I can't put that all down to the angle of the hammer. Whoops. But yeah, so sleep schedule, been more serious about that. But yeah, been doing a lot of thinking in general. But yeah, I also apologize a bit for the bit of radio silence. My social media skills are not very, very keen, I must say. My communication skills in general could be pretty improved, quite a bit. but especially so on social media. But yeah, you know, there's a sort of a sense of, you know, I try to maintain a certain decorum, you know. But yeah, I try to maintain a certain decorum, and I feel, you know, I hesitate to talk about delays and changes in plans and cancellations and whatnot. But yeah, because it's sort of in the interest of presenting, I don't know, presenting a sort of clean experience, I suppose, where what you see is what you get, basically, and what I say is what will happen. But yeah, I very much do not like changing plans, and that just goes in general. I don't like changing plans. But yeah, so when I'm not sure of whether or not I particularly want to stream on any given day, it's very hard for me to say, you know, very hard for me to commit to streaming and then say, you know what, actually I'm not going to, or anything like that. But yeah. And so, and this even goes so far as, you know, in situations where the change would be theoretically a benefit, like if I initially said that I wasn't going to be streaming on a given day, and then I decide, you know what, I feel like streaming today, or whatever else. I don't like to change my plans to say, actually I'm going to stream today when I originally wasn't. But yeah. So, you know, again, as I was getting to, in sort of periods of uncertainty like I've been experiencing, I am very reluctant to commit to anything. But yeah, again, I'm probably being a little bit too delicate with my hammer work here. Oh well. Alright. But yes. So I think, basically, if you'll pardon the expression, to a certain extent I just need to get over that. And I did not choose this specific game as a metaphor for anything, I will say. I just felt like playing it.
The obstacles in sexy hiking are unyielding, and that makes the game uniquely frustrating.
Indeed.
But I'm not sure Jazuo intended to make a frustrating game. The frustration is just essential to the act of climbing, and it's authentic to the process of building a game about climbing.
But yeah.
A funny thing happened to me as I was building this mountain.
If I really want to
I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out to be unreasonably
I think
hard.
I need to launch it a little bit better.
But I couldn't bring myself to make it easier.
Yeah, I can
It already felt like my inability to get
take
past
some
the new
time
obstacle
here and there
was my fault as a player
to listen
rather than as a
to
builder.
Bennett.
Imaginary mountains build themselves from our efforts to climb them. And it's our repeated attempts to reach the summit that turns those mountains into something real.
Take some time to listen to Bennett here and there. But if I really want to get in
When you're building
deep,
a video game world, you're building with ideas.
probably I would do that off stream.
And that can be like working with quickset cement. You mold your ideas into a certain shape that can be played with. And in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set until they're immutable. Like
I've got a fair amount of
point,
friction. I don't need to worry about friction
not without
too much.
breaking it into pieces and starting fresh with new ideas.
As long as I'm sort of parallel with the ground. But yeah, I can't... Okay. Okay, so yes. So assuming I have clear space, I can work the hammer all the way around. I don't know if I can get to where I want to be from here, actually. But yeah, I was worried... Actually, does the... Oh, right. The hammer handle doesn't interact with walls. Right. But yeah, if I tried to work around that way, I would fall. So I need to work around this way if I want to position myself. Oop. Ah. But yes. So, let's see. So, what was the last thought I was on? I remember talking about Celeste, the video game. Whoop. I don't know if I have anything more to say about that here. just sort of the idea of games about mountain climbing brought that back to the forefront of my consciousness. But yeah, so working on being more forthright, I suppose. Forthright with my thoughts and plans. Because yeah, it's, you know, just good communication. That's important. Being able to make these decisions and commit to them, and being able to make my decisions known. Oops. But yeah, might be a little bit of a shorter stream today as well. No particular reason for that, I just kind of feel like playing a short time today, essentially. But yeah, I was working on a project with a deadline that was coming up pretty shortly, but now the deadline is no longer a concern, basically. I do still have the project to work on, so I will probably do more short streams here and there, because I do want to get that done at some point during my lifetime. But such is what it is. But yeah, I believe, as I understand it, sort of the strategy here is to not do that, but to sort of position yourself.
You've done this part before. You know it's possible. Just do what you did the first time.
Thank you. But yeah, so I haven't done what I was talking about doing, but I thank you for your input regardless, Bennett. But yeah, so to sort of, nope, push too far there, because yeah, I don't have, I don't have a keen understanding of the physics is what I don't have. But yeah, I don't need to wind up all that much, I don't think, but I need to wind up more than that if I really want to get a good launch. But yeah, I want to catch that lamp there with my hammer, as I understand it. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. But yes. So, other than that, again, spent some time sort of thinking about sort of the sort of looming specter of the redesign and all that will come with that. Thinking more about the type of content that I want to produce and all that. All right. So I think I might need to, because I'm sort of whirling around to the left and I'm catching on the bottom of this. So I believe I need to either just execute the whole motion a little bit faster and smoother. Either I need to execute the motion faster or smoother, or I just need to execute it differently. Because yeah, that doesn't get me over onto this rock either. I don't know if I necessarily need to be on that rock, actually. Maybe not. In fact, it might be beneficial to be further away from it. But yeah, so when I'm at rest, I am at rest, basically. But once I'm sliding, that's when, once I have momentum, that is, yeah, I can definitely hear the failures in my noise canceling. I don't know what's up with that. There we go. But yeah, so once I have momentum, it's hard to stop. But when I'm at rest, I'm at rest. Very good, very good. But yeah, I wouldn't say that I'm experienced with this game, but I definitely have seen more of it than perhaps most have upon going into it for the first time. Whoop. For a second there, I contemplated simply purposefully launching myself over this edge here, because I thought it might be funny. But I do intend to beat this game. Not today, for sure. Like I'm saying, like I was saying.
For years now, people
I
have been
intend this to be a bit of a
games
short
would
stream.
soon be made out of prefabricated objects, bought in a store and assembled into a world. And for the most part, that hasn't happened.
Alright.
Because the objects in the stores are trash. I don't mean they look bad or that they're badly made, although a lot of them are. I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink.
Alright.
Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context. And once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage.
Okay.
In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds.
But yeah, the notions...
Over time,
the notion of
more and more refuge
game development,
to this vast digital landfill that we call the internet. It now vastly outnumbers
game development, building games just out of recycled assets and whatnot, reminds me a lot of my own experience learning game development, which is another thing that I would like to do more of, or any of, really. I have not developed a single game since acquiring my degree in game development. Alright, so here I've got to swing myself over. There we go. Alright, I think, yeah, I need momentum here. Maybe I don't need that much, but I do need enough to be able to launch the hammer upwards.
A mountain of trash, the ash heap of creativity's fountain. A landfill with everything we ever thought of.
It doesn't seem like
infinite and unsorted.
Yeah, not super keen on letting me just launch directly up like I was sort of attempting to. So yeah, I definitely got to go side to side here. Ah, okay. That one is...
That's a deep frustration. A real punch in the gut.
Not too bad though, not too bad though. I was able to avoid falling down the left side of this rock face, which would have been truly disastrous. Right. But yeah, so I can't rest on that lantern, and I don't know why I thought I could, because I hadn't done it before, I don't think. Alright. And pull in and launch. There we go. Whoop. Can I pull in? I should be able to, yes. Whether or not I can maintain this is another matter. Yeah, that won't do. But yeah, perhaps more commitment. Perhaps more commitment in my swings. But yeah, I sure didn't intend this game to be a metaphor, but it is a little bit of a metaphor now that I think about it. Perhaps I selected it subconsciously as such. But yeah, we all have our various challenges. We all have our various challenges, and I will say that I've definitely been going through some challenges of my own. But yeah, again, a lot of the challenges are the, I would say, more positive kind of trying to, not simply being troubled, but of attempting to resolve some of the troubles that I already have. I consider those to be positive challenges. Or perhaps, well, perhaps it would be beneficial to define troubles versus challenges. Because a trouble is simply unpleasant, but a challenge is something that can be surmounted. There's a lot of things that I can't really do anything about. But the things that I can, I am working on to the best of my ability. And that I can take some comfort in. But yeah. Again, a lot of sort of thinking, well, a lot is a strong word. But thinking on sort of how I want to present content, what sort of content I want to make. But yeah. It feels, honestly, it still feels weird to sort of just say content. as the term for what I produce. Certainly that is true. Everything is content, but it feels a little bit vague, a little bit non-specific. But again, I suppose I don't have a very specific idea of what it is just yet that I want to go for. Whoop. But yeah, I suppose there's perhaps two ways that one can play this game. Progressing slowly due to being very sort of slow and methodical in your movements, or going slowly because you're not being very slow and methodical in your movements and you're losing a lot of progress frequently, or at least a small amount of progress frequently.
Hang in there. Don't let it get to you. But also, let it get you a little bit.
Alright. And I think, yeah, it would be more beneficial to just pull here. And of course, those two ways of playing are the two ways of playing where you aren't progressing particularly quickly. Alright. But yeah, I don't want to claim that I will not get angry at this game. I'm more humble than that, but I don't want to, but I don't know, I don't expect to be angry. Sort of not really in my nature, for the most part. I do get angry. I do get angry, and I have gotten angry on stream before. I think the only time that I got significantly angry that I can recall was let's see, back in Gunpoint, the final episode of Gunpoint, or the final part of Gunpoint, where the game recorded me as having killed someone, even though I had believed that I hadn't. And I'm still not sure why. I'm still not sure why the game had recorded me as having killed someone, because I definitely did not in any of the levels, other than the test levels. Yeah, this game definitely made me angry. I never made it this far before I gave up forever. But yeah, I can see why it is a game that people get upset with. But yes, hello Clockwork Moose. How are you doing? But yes, I like to think that I have a pretty calm, patient, easy, or even temperament. We'll see how far that takes me. But yeah, so I did get angry at Gunpoint then. I did get angry at Gunpoint then, but I can't think of any other time that I've gotten angry on stream. I'm sure I have. But that's the only instance that I can recall thus far. There we go. I definitely get upset, but I wouldn't say most of the times that I've gotten upset I don't think I would describe it as being angry. But yeah, I've gotten upset in other ways, but I can't really remember any other instances on stream. I remember perhaps the angriest I've gotten in living memory was back around the time of Pokemon X and Y. I was playing those with some friends of mine frequently online, and I had a friend who just would always have and his team never changed, I should say. Maybe I should save that for when I've actually gotten to the point. But he had a team that was always trouble me deeply. I was not very good. I guess I can go up from here. I don't need to start down from down there.
Getting it harder the more times you try it. I think anger makes you swing the hammer harder, and that can push you away from the wall.
Makes sense. But yeah, so this friend of mine had a team that I always struggled very much with. He didn't change his Pokemon on his team very often, so I probably could have simply countered it. Simply built a team to counter it, or even just had a few Pokemon that could counter some of his specific strategies. Because none of us were competitive players, to be sure. We all just sort of liked playing Pokemon together. But yeah, I remember that friend of mine had a Talonflame, and I cannot express to you, I do not have the words to express how much I was upset by that bird. I did not like that Talonflame, and I did not like that friend's Aegislash either. But it was mostly the Talonflame. Also his Pikachu. But mostly just for the fact that it had Nuzzle. Nothing really else about it was particularly off-putting to me. But yeah. And over the time that I played against him, you know, I was very aware that I could have probably pretty easily countered his team with, or at least the Pokemon on it that I most disliked, the Talonflame. I could have probably countered it pretty well simply by making use of Stealth Rock, basically. Because I don't remember exactly how much damage Stealth Rock does on a quad weakness, but I think it's either a fourth or perhaps even half of a Pokemon's health bar. And that would have been pretty devastating. Not to mention just the benefit of reducing the health of every other member of his team, if perhaps not quite as much. But yeah. On principle, though, I simply refuse to build a team around his team specifically. I simply would not allow such a thing. And so I played against his team often, and I don't think I ever won. I don't think I ever won a match against him. Whoops. But yeah, I didn't take the time to line up my swing there. But yeah. So I don't believe I ever won a match against him. Yeah, even running some Pokemon that were probably pretty reasonably good at dealing with that particular Talonflame. But yeah, I didn't like it, basically. I just didn't like it, and at a certain point I simply refused to keep playing with him. If you can believe it. But whoop. But yeah, I've got to remember the hammer is a pretty good anchor. Like even if it doesn't really make sense for me to be able to hold on at a particular angle or at a particular location, it will keep me steady. Again, if I am at rest. But yeah, so the Talonflame was very upsetting to me. I was also very upset. I was also very upset during my, it would have been in, Omega Ruby during my first fight against the champion. I don't know, I was doing pretty poorly the whole Elite Four challenge. I don't know why, if there was any particular reason why, but I was certainly upset about it. And I promised to myself that, thinking perhaps like some sort of protagonist, some sort of hot-blooded protagonist, I promised myself that I would beat this champion with my pretty badly injured team, my lack of healing items. I promised myself I would beat the champion in one attempt, or I would never play the game again. I swore an oath that day, and I did not succeed. And and I did end up breaking that oath and playing and beating the champion later. But it was several years before I played that game again. But yeah, I don't know what was going on in my life during the later years of the Pokemon generations on the 3DS that led me to be so angry. But those are, I think, the last times that I can think of that I've gotten, like, upset enough that it's had, like, consequences. But yeah, upset enough that it's affected my entire day. Upset enough that I still think about it somewhat often. But yeah, the gunpoint thing is the most upset I can recall myself being in the past year or so. But I moved on from that pretty quickly, I think. I wonder... Because, yeah, I don't think I killed any NPCs during, like, gameplay. I'm pretty sure I did during some of the tutorials. Or at least in the, like, tutorial for the Resolver. Where it is, I believe...
models of breakfast.
Believe it is,
fanfic novels,
unavoidable.
Magazines, green screen Shia LaBeouf,
I'm gonna take a sip real quick.
Stuff scenes on LiveLeak. Facebook's got lifelike bots with unbranded adverts and candid shots of Kanye and Taylor Swift mashups, car crash epic failed GIFs, Russian dashcam vids, discussions of McRibs, discarded, forgotten, unrecycled.
Never had a McRib. Rotten, I don't think. Actually, no. Untitled. Come to think of it, no, I'm wrong about that. I have definitely had a McRib. But yeah, I've had a McRib, but I've never gotten one from McDonald's.
For about 6 seconds, until some newer thing
which is a weird thing to say, I feel like.
Years of persevering, disappearing into the pile, out of style, out of sight.
Poetry. But yes, I've had a McRib, but I've not had a McRib from McDonald's. Like, at one point, the people that I live with just one day announced that they had acquired, or one of them had acquired, a bag of, like, McRibs, basically. Not like the fully prepared sandwich, like the McRib meat. Like, they just had an unmarked plastic bag of the McRibs. It was a transparent bag, so I assume it was like a bag with a bag that they came in. I'm assuming that they must have sourced this from a McDonald's in some capacity. Maybe they had a friend who worked there or something, because they certainly didn't work at a McDonald's, and I didn't know anyone who worked at a McDonald's, and I didn't know that they knew anyone who worked at a McDonald's. So I don't know what was up with that. I don't know what was up with that, and to this day it is a mystery to me. I'm not sure if they'd remember it if I brought it up, to be honest. It was an interesting, it was a very deeply interesting thing to me, just the mystery of where did this large bag of several McRibs, because I don't know if they ate very many of them. I would have them for lunch, simply because they were very quick to prepare, being already prepared basically, just needing something to be placed on, and heated, of course. But yeah, because they were, I think they were frozen. Even if they weren't frozen when we got them, they were frozen. They were put into the freezer, so they were frozen afterwards. So yeah, so I continued to have them for quite a while. I wouldn't go so far as to say that I enjoyed them per se, and maybe I would have if they had been proper. Though I will say I don't like fast food in general. But yeah, perhaps I would have enjoyed them more, at least, if they had been properly prepared. But they were cheap, fast, and effective. More so even than simply going to McDonald's myself, of course. So for a time, I would consume one every day or so, as often as I could bring myself to, or more accurately, as often as I couldn't be bothered to do to make anything else. But yeah, being a little bit too slow. I think I need to be a little bit faster with some of these motions. But yeah, because I've been trying to launch myself directly from this umbrella onto the rake. And now I'm probably being a little bit too reckless. But yeah, I was trying to launch myself directly from the umbrella onto the rake. But I realize now I can use the wheelbarrow. There we go. Much better. And I believe I'm supposed to go over to the right now.
Oof, sorry about that.
Not that far to the right, perhaps. that's an interesting interaction. But yes. Whoop. Nope. Alright. So, will this... No, okay. It will not bump me down if I make such incidental contact with the grill there. Windmill technique. Probably I should extend the hammer a little bit more. Not too bad. Not too bad. But definitely could be improved. Alright, alright. Ah, no. Not quite far enough. Alright, there we go. Nope. Yeah, I need to maintain the momentum, but I do need to build it up before I can maintain it. But yeah, more momentum in my movements. Ah, okay, so the...
Keep on trying, don't let it get...
Yeah, I was concerned about the point off the top of the slide, but I don't... It looks like I don't interact with that. It looks like I don't interact with it. Whoop. Alright. Gently lower ourselves down. Nice. Alright. But yeah, so I feel like I've got the technique down, more or less. But perhaps not the timing. Or at least I just need to... Maybe I just need to adjust somewhat for the slide. Because that seems to be the bigger problem. Although I'm not really making it onto the rake quite as well as I perhaps could be. Yeah. But yeah, so I launched myself off the rake a little bit too much. I built up a little bit too much momentum with that swing. Nope. Alright. Ooh, that's too high. But we recovered from it pretty well. Alright. Gotten too much into the habit of swinging wildly, so let's cool it down a little bit. Speaking of grills. Nope.
This thing that we call failure is not
there we go.
But the staying.
Alright, so we've got our first big fall, everybody. Yeah, because this, that took us down the, what I referred to as the left side of that rock face from earlier. So yeah, we're definitely pretty far back now. Alright. But yeah, so, let's see, what have I talked about? I've talked about sleeping. I've talked about being angry. I've talked about mysterious McRibs that I cannot even begin to guess why we possess these. We don't even have a McDonald's in town. And granted, there is one relatively nearby in the next town over, where by necessity a lot of time is spent by any residents of this town because this town does not have a grocery store. It has a dollar store that has a limited selection of produce, but, you know, no grocery stores. But yeah, a gas station and a dollar store are the closest things that we have to a grocery store. Whoop. But yeah. I'm trying to employ the momentum techniques that I developed, trying to get up that obstacle, the playland we'll call it. But I don't think they're particularly well suited for what I'm doing here. At least not any more so than what I was doing before. Yeah. Oh, well, that got me up here, I suppose. Sometimes you can afford to skip a few steps. But I don't... it almost seems like the metal's a little bit slipperier than other materials. I don't know that that's actually true. Yeah, no, I need to be further in before I can jump. Ah. I wonder if I could have... I don't know. I don't know if that was a timing thing or just a positioning thing. There we go. Yeah, that was just a poor response, unfortunately. Yeah, move in, go down, go up, and that, I don't know if I could have done that much better. I think that one simply wasn't destined to succeed. Alright. Alright. So, position, down, up, there we go. Ah, nope, not quite. I maybe could have recovered a little bit more there. Could have hooked onto the first lantern, but oh well. Honestly, I wasn't expecting to make that. That went a lot better than I was expecting. But yeah, so again, sort of a thing that I keep coming back to is thinking about how I want to present the stream and such going forward. This is... oh! It's a better position than I thought it was. But yeah, how I want to sort of present the stream going forward. And I'm still working on that a little bit. But yeah. One thing, I've been watching more streams than usual, because I will say, despite being a streamer, I don't spend a whole lot of time in streams. A lot of my... yeah. I've said it before, but I'm a fan of Let's Plays, largely. Or more specifically, I'm a fan of a few Let's Players. But yeah, so that, when I watch video game online content, that generally, well, Let's Plays and like, I don't know, I like to watch videos about, like, I don't know what term I would use to describe it, but you know, sort of in-depth analyses of games and game mechanics as well. But yeah, game music has been a particular interest in these past few years. And game animation has been a particular interest recently. Alright, so pull yourself in carefully, lower yourself down, and there we go. I still don't have this quite down. This is a motion that's not super well practiced for me. I think I'm probably just overthinking it. I wonder, hopefully that's not going to be a concern. Hopefully that's not copyrighted or... But yeah, I was going to say, hopefully that's not, I don't know what I was going to say actually, but it reminded me of another incident that I've had in my life. Where I was at work one day. When I used to work at a restaurant. But yeah, I was at work one day, and I happened to see there was a large box of peaches, like sort of a shipping box of not like a crate, I wouldn't say. It was a cardboard box, something that you could reasonably carry, but both in size and in quantity of peaches. And so I thought that was interesting because, you know, it was a restaurant, but we didn't serve peaches in any capacity. We didn't make anything with peaches. So this was a complete anomaly to me, at least you know, if we did serve anything with peaches, I was completely unaware of it. So I looked at this box of peaches and I sort of thought, you know, I want to have a peach. I want to have a peach. I quite like fruit in general. But yeah, I want to have a peach, but if this is food for the restaurant in some capacity, maybe we're, I don't know, doing some sort of peach special that I'm unaware of, or something like that. We're serving a peach dish or something. Yeah, this music sure is going on for a while. I'd assume that it would be sort of a short clip. Yeah, hopefully... Is there, like, some sort of stream remote I can turn on that... Seems like not. At least not in this menu. If I do end up muting this music in the VOD, thank you for your patience while I refer to music that you can't hear. I suppose you can... The title of the song was on screen there for a little while, Going Down the Road and Feeling Bad. And I believe... I wasn't paying that much attention, but I believe that the performer was also there. So you can put on the music that I'm listening to right now. And that seems to have stopped, I think. But yes, if you want to get the full experience, you can go and listen to it on your own time while you watch over this VOD or something like that. But yeah, so anyway, peaches. So I saw these peaches and I thought, you know, I would like a peach. I would like a peach, but if I don't want a peach if we need them for some purpose. Yeah, can hear the music, the yodel dude? Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about if I'm going to need to look into whether or not I can, like, keep this music in the VOD is the thought that I was having, and that I might need to mute it. I expect that it is audible now, but I was just talking about if it is not audible
it's
later.
It's tempting to make friendly content that's gentle, that lets you churn through it but not earn it.
All right.
Why make something demanding if it just gets piled up in the landfill?
But yes.
Filed in with the bland things.
Nope.
The soul would have no
good
rainbow
catch.
had the
Gotcha.
eyes no
Yeah,
tears.
thank you. Or, yeah.
John Vance Cheney.
All right. So, peaches. Maybe I should take some time to expound on my peach thoughts while I'm not wildly swinging a hammer. So, peaches. Box of peaches. I want a peach. I don't want to eat the peaches if they are for restaurant use, and I don't want to eat the peaches if they belong to someone else, and I don't have their explicit permission. So I look around. You know, there's no obvious sign of whose peaches these are. They are unattended in a box. Nobody's like around eating peaches, so it's not obvious that if they were brought for general use or for restaurant use or whatever. But yes. Whoop. And so do I need to go down? I feel like I need to go down, but last time we went down we fell. Let's see, if I jump up a little bit, I might be able to get a better view. Alright, I don't think I can go up, so I think I need to lower myself carefully. Ah, okay. Nice. Ah, okay. So yeah, as soon as the jar makes contact with a surface, I can begin to lose my grip with the hammer, it seems like. I think that was probably more physics reaction than just if the pot is in motion on a surface, you lose the hammer grip. But yeah, so peaches. So, I was thinking, I don't want to eat these if they are someone else's and I don't have permission to them, because, you know, every now and then people would bring some stuff into work that they had purchased, like some food items into work that they had purchased for themselves, and keep them in sort of one of the, you know, just keep them around. It wasn't uncommon. It wasn't common either.
When games were new, they wanted a lot from
it wasn't common.
Taunting you, resetting and delaying you. Players played stoically. Now everyone's turned off by that. They want to burn through it quickly. A quick fix for the fickle. Some tricks for the clicks of the feckless.
Right.
But that's not you. You're an acrobat. You could swallow a baseball bat.
Security camera. But yes. Let me... Alright, I need to get the peach story out or else it will never happen. So, peaches. Box of peaches. People sometimes brought stuff into work that was just for their own purposes that they had purchased on their way or something like that, and were, you know, didn't want to keep in their car or whatever else. A little bit strange perhaps, I feel like, but it was what it was. So, you know, I didn't necessarily have any reason to assume or not assume that these peaches were free to be consumed. So I turned to a friend of mine who happened to be nearby, and you know, the question, the information that I wanted was, you know, do you know who brought these peaches in? Like, first of all, are these peaches like for the restaurant such that I cannot consume them? Or if not, do you know who brought them in? Do you know if they are free to be consumed? Or, you know, do you know who I might have to ask for permission to consume one? And, you know, this is roughly the information that I wanted. This is roughly the information that I wanted.
Most likely you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, while some dude with 10 million views does it for you.
My YouTube
like a baby
channel.
Bird being fed chewed up food.
But yes.
That's culture too.
But yes. So, I wanted this information about these peaches. And so I turned to my friend who was nearby, who was a co-worker. And again, I wanted to ask some series of questions to acquire this information. But for whatever reason, the first phrase that came out of my mouth, the first thought that I could formulate upon seeing these peaches and wanting this information was, I turned to this individual and I asked, "Are these peaches open source?" No. And to that friend's credit, they understood immediately, perfectly, the idea that I hoped to convey to them. Because they turned right to me and they said, they're covered under fair use, it's fine. And so I went and I grabbed a peach and I ate it, and it was pretty good. Not the best peach that I've ever had, but it was pretty good. But yes, I am still so pleased to have a friend who, when I ask a question like, "Are those peaches open source?" knows exactly what I mean to say by that. I have used some turns of phrase in my day, I will say. But yeah, so this is I'm probably being a little bit too slow here. I want to say that the game seems almost like it's expecting me to go faster as time goes on. And it might be, but part of it might just be I was diverting too much information or too much brain power to thinking about peach stories. Whoop. Oh dear. Whoop. Unfortunate. But yeah, I've been keeping that peach story in my back pocket for a long time. It's a story that I've wanted to tell for a long time, but I've never thought of a good opportunity to bring it up. I don't know why I brought it up just now that I think about it. That knowledge is far gone.
You'll be back here again and again. Avenge and repent until you've ascended.
All right.
Or until you're contented.
I kind of wonder how the checkpoints, or not the checkpoint system, because this game does not have checkpoints, but I kind of wonder what the what is going on under the hood, so to speak. Because I'm getting a lot of dialogues from our good friend Bennett Foddy saying, you know, things along the lines of, you know, you will get over this, perhaps. But yeah, you know, you've fallen, but you can get back up again. When I haven't really fallen all that far, I'd assume that they would be triggered by falling farther. In this case, I don't feel like I've fallen very far at all. I did just fall somewhat far.
The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before. That's the deal. C.S. Lewis.
But yes. But yeah, I was getting a lot of those sort of quotes, or at least I was getting some of them, more than I was expecting, given the relative lack of large progress losses. So I wonder if maybe the game isn't necessarily checking for lost progress in so much as it is checking for you going somewhere you've already been. But yeah, a little bit too swift there.
I feel within me a peace above all earthly dignities, a still and quiet conscience. William Shakespeare.
All right. So, I think I can... This is a situation where I should swing pretty fast. Maybe not that fast. And certainly not that fast there. But yeah. I might have swung a little bit too hard to get up onto the... not the swing. The slide. Never was a big fan of slides, but I've always been quite fond of swings.
You cannot now believe that you will ever feel better. But this is not true. You're sure to be happy again.
All right.
And knowing this, truly believing it, will make you less miserable now. Abraham Lincoln.
Whoops. Let's take another sip. Almost dropped my lid there. That would have been bad. Need to clean out my water bottle one of these days. Or clean it off. I believe I've spoke about it before, but the water here in my hometown is pretty bad, as you may have guessed from a town that is not wealthy enough to command the presence of a grocery store. But yeah, the water here is not very good. So I don't know if it's residue or just, you know, the consequence of water being in a place over a long period of time, but after a while, sort of the mouth of my water bottle acquires a certain, I don't know, it tastes bad, essentially, is the concept that I'm trying to convey here. It tastes bad. And I'm beginning to get the bad water taste again. But yes, we're definitely in some pretty grave danger here recently, so I should be a little bit more cautious. But yeah, so to get back to a thought that I was having a good while ago, I've been watching a few more. I don't know how to express this quantity now that I think about it, but I've been watching more streams lately, basically, and that has helped me a little bit in sort of thinking about what I want to do with my stream, sort of seeing other streamers. But yeah, in particular, one that I've been especially fond of recently is Vesper Noir of Hollow Stars English. But yeah, I like to, or perhaps I would like to rather, present in a similar sort of style to him, in a very sort of maybe not laid back, that's not the word I'm looking for, but a relaxed More music. This could... I'm vaguely concerned about all this music, but oh well. Again, if necessary, it should be easy to remove. But yes. Present in a sort of somewhat fairly, I don't know. Apologies, I've been distracted by the music, the presence of music, and my concerns over what that may mean for the VOD. It does definitely seem to be old music, so there's a decent chance that it's not of any real concern. I suppose it would make sense for a game that is a tribute to games made of free assets to use music that is also free, generally speaking. Oh, we've just lost some progress here. But yes. So yeah, Vesper Noir. I quite like his speaking style, his way of presenting, his enthusiasm for his enthusiasm for what he does. Yeah, and his wealth of knowledge on the topics that he is passionate about. Yeah, all very admirable qualities, I think. Ones that I would also like to bring. But yeah, sort of the, you know, those are qualities that I very much appreciate in a video maker or live streamer. But yeah, knowledgeability, sort of, I want to say like authoritativeness, but like not in sort of a, you know, authority figure sense, but in a, this is someone who knows what they're talking about sense. But yeah, I don't feel like I have a lot of topics that I can speak authoritatively on, personally. I would definitely like to have more. Alright. So I've got to sort of remember what I did to... I didn't do that. Well, I did do that, but I didn't, that's not how I succeeded. I'm trying to remember how I succeeded. But yeah, I might need to go to try and swing around to the, yeah, there we go, to the left. I don't like this. But yeah, I don't think I can... I know now that I can sit on the lamp, but I don't think I can pull myself to it very effectively. The shape of the pot I don't think is conducive to that. There we go. But yeah, I've come to rest on it before, but I don't think I can rely upon being able to do that. There we go, and up and over. We are slipping a little bit, based on, yeah, the shape of the hammer interacting with the geometry of this rock face. But yeah, there are definitely times here where I'm being unnecessarily cautious, but I'd really rather be too cautious than to be reckless. But yeah, I did say that this was going to be a short stream, but I'm enjoying it a little bit more than I was expecting to, so maybe this will just be a normal length stream, actually. Whoops. But yeah, I like to think I have a pretty good sense of humor when it comes to my failures, or a good attitude about them. But yeah, I used to be pretty harsh with myself, but I think I've sort of grown past that. I was sort of hoping I would stay wedged there and be able to pull myself up a little bit more from a relatively secure position. But yeah, I used to be pretty harsh on myself. I'm much less so now. There we go. There we go. Alright. That's a section that I can do pretty well, I think, if I focus a little bit. I haven't had significant failures on this specific part, getting across this. I don't know if this is what you might call a railing. In fact, it's definitely not a railing. I'm not sure what to call it, this metal structure. Is it a strut, perhaps? It might be a strut. Nope. But yeah, this is a part that I struggle with, I think. I don't think I've, like, lost any significant progress doing it. I'm going to stretch a little bit. Because yes, this is definitely, at least the way I'm playing it, this is a game that's a little bit rough on the shoulder. But yeah, I'm doing a lot of sort of precise movements, trying to do a lot of slow, precise movement. And I was just trying to do a bit less precise movement. But yeah, slow, precise movement. And I was trying to do less precise movement to reduce the strain I was feeling from the precise movement. Because yeah, going slowly has a certain stress to it.
Mary Fry.
A certain stress to it that going quickly doesn't. Though going quickly has its own stress. Because yeah, you've got, as I understand it, you have, you know, your different types of muscle fibers. There are fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers, from what I understand. And so if you're used to doing a particular motion sort of quickly, then you start to do it slowly, you might find it more tiring to do it slowly than to do it quickly. I was sort of thinking that for some reason I wasn't thinking that I would interact with the ceiling there. And thread the needle, very good. But yeah, there's a time for speed and a time for surety, I suppose. But yeah, any situation where I can't expect to fall, where I'm traveling across like flat, well, not necessarily flat, but terrain without any pitfalls, then I should probably move quickly. And obviously in situations like this where I'm fighting against gravity. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm upset, but I am definitely tense, and I've just realized that in addition to being tense, I'm also a fool. Nope, there we go. There. Now we can play the game. Anyway, I've forgotten what I was talking about before because I was so distraught. I was so distraught by forgetting to change the name of the game in my I always want to call it like a UI or something, but it's not. But yeah, in my overlay here. But yes. So yeah, tense. Definitely very tense. And I feel like a lot of that does come from the...
To survive,
yeah,
is to
a lot
find
of that
some
comes
meaning
from
in
just
suffering.
the trying to
Friedrich
go
Nietzsche.
very, very sort of slowly and precisely. And again, there are places where it's warranted and places where it's not. Yeah, I don't think I really need to go over to that rock on the right. I think I can... I say I think as though I didn't just do it, but I can, yeah, I can go directly up to the left side. Nope. I had success going, again, over sort of swing to the left. Oh, alright. There I had some success swinging to the right. I guess I was probably too far left to swing to the left successfully anyway. Yeah, I was sort of thinking of it in terms of, you know, you have to make a certain motion in order to be able to accomplish this. But I think probably it's not that precise necessarily. But maybe a little bit more precise than that. Alright. Nope. That was an odd interaction there. But yeah, I don't think I've ever slipped off on this section quite in that way. Nope. Alright. So up. Nope. And once again, up. There we go. I don't like this. I definitely don't like this. Interesting. Oops. But yeah, I couldn't pull in the hammer there for some reason. I think maybe I was just what I was perceiving of the cursor and what the sort of how the game thought the cursor's position was were a little bit misaligned there. Or at least I didn't know what to expect properly there. Because yeah, essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to sort of pull it towards myself. But, you know, in doing that, it's not doing that. Maybe that's... Yeah, I think maybe it's sort of the... Given that the point of the hammer is sort of in the wall, the game is sort of thinking of it as being caught in the wall. In a way that is pretty similar to how... Well, I guess you don't use a... I don't think you use a sledgehammer to climb, but you do use hooked metal tools of various kinds to climb in real life. Whoop. But yeah, the collision detection in this game is pretty good. I guess that's pretty much all that there is to the game. It's just a series of boxes to collide into. Shapes to collide into. So if the game didn't have good collision detection, it wouldn't really have anything going for it. Alright. So one other thing that I've sort of been wondering about is what part of our good friend here has collision? I was sort of thinking that it was just the pot for a while. But it does seem like his upper body does have collision. His arms don't seem to. They seem to be able to move around pretty freely, which is also probably necessary from a gameplay standpoint. If your arms got caught on things, then you'd probably lose the ability to maneuver the hammer in a lot of places. Not that it's necessarily easy to maneuver the hammer in a lot of places anyway, but it'd be a lot harder. But yeah, so sort of what I was thinking was that since I can, say, move my arm into this place here, where I can't move the hammer, that cinder block there and just the wall in general here, I was thinking that maybe I could just move the torso anywhere. I wonder if the head has collision also. But yeah, to bring the topic back to my experience with developing video games in a limited capacity in my learning experiences, my educational career, to be more accurate. But yeah, it's collision's a challenging thing, and I'm glad that I haven't really needed to bother with it very much. But yeah, when I was just learning code and stuff, I learned a program called Scratch. Or not a program, I guess, but a programming language. I guess it only sort of runs within the context of a particular program, so you can call it a program. Or on the website, I suppose. But it was I don't know why I say was, it probably still exists, but in some capacity. But yeah, so Scratch is a visual coding language, basically. And I did have to make some games in Scratch at one point, as I was learning programming and such, computer science in general. But yeah, I had to make some games in Scratch, and yeah, getting collision to work was a real pain. Let me tell you. Yeah, not only getting collision to work, but trying to figure out ways to make sure that the player characters would not simply phase into walls and such. And if you did end up in a wall, pushing them out. And I'm so very glad that engines like Unity and Unreal don't require you to do as much work to get collision and stuff working. Probably they would if you wanted to get particularly good collision.
Grief
like in
is
this
an
game.
Interval between two moments of joy. Peace is the interlude between two wars.
But yeah.
You have no rose without a thorn. The diligent picker will avoid the pricks and gather the flowers.
But yes. So collision. Yeah. For my sort of initial projects, I just sort of used the sprites themselves for collision. But eventually I did learn, and you know, this is sort of stuff that I already had in the back of my mind due to general awareness and familiarity with video games. But for my second sort of major game project in Scratch, honestly I wouldn't call any of the game projects major, but for a second game project I moved on from using just the sprites themselves for collision.
I've saved your progress.
And I learned that I could instead essentially just make a hitbox, like one does have in a game generally, in games where collision is less important and thus less precise than this game. Not always a box. Sometimes it's a ball, sometimes it's a sphere. Ball and a sphere are the same thing basically, but I meant sort of a almost like a pill shape, sort of cylindrical but with curved capped edge or tops and bottom, sometimes just a cylinder. Yeah, different shapes for collision depending on the shape of the character. Usually, again, it doesn't matter too much. So a lot of actual game engines that are made for actual game development have pre-built sort of collision that is, you know, very simple to set up and use. But let me tell you, it is not simple to set up and use collision on your own. But yeah. Anyway, I feel like I'm running low of topics now. But yeah, what have I talked about? I've talked about content. I've talked about Peaches.
But not with the cold fire that
I've talked about Vesper Noir.
William Carlos Williams.
I don't know. Yeah, being that I'm more or less out of things to say, I might wrap up here pretty soon. Yeah, I might wrap up pretty soon. But I do definitely, I want to get closer to where, I don't know that I'll recapture all the progress that I lost, but I do want to get closer to where I was, at least past the slide. Alright, so it might end up being a little bit shorter than usual stream. About an hour and a half versus the 2 I usually aim for. But longer than the 1.5 I thought it would be. But yeah, one definite consequence of the... And honestly, it's hard for me to call it a consequence, really. But, well, I mean, it is a consequence in the literal sense of what that word means. But a consequence of the sleep schedule adjustments that I've had are that, for one thing, I don't feel quite as tired quite as much. Usually previously I would feel pretty tired throughout the day, but that had been going on for long enough that I sort of had adapted to it. Not really, not very well, but I stopped noticing it more so than adapted to it. Because I don't think you really can adapt to it per se. But yeah, I stopped noticing it though after a certain point. It simply became my everyday. But yeah, and so now that I'm sleeping better, I have a lot more energy in the beginning of the day and sort of towards the middle of it. But I feel more tired at night. And I don't think that's because I'm not going to bed all that much earlier than I used to. But yeah, I'm not going to bed all that much earlier than I'm used to. Than I used to. Well, I guess "than I'm used to" would also be grammatically correct in this context, because it is earlier than what I am, or not much earlier than what I am used to, also. But yeah, so I feel more tired at night, I feel like, but I think that's probably just, relative, you know, to being less tired during the day and whatnot. Instead of being at a instead of being at a very sort of constant level of tiredness throughout the day, I start the day with a fair amount of energy, and it sort of depletes over time. Or at least that's how it feels. The actual biochemical processes are a lot more complex than that. But yeah, I've learned a little bit about I've looked into sort of the mechanics of sleep, so to speak, recently, because I was curious when I was thinking about getting to sleeping more regularly. Sort of wanted to know a little bit more about, you know, why these sort of things work. And one interesting thing that I've learned is that the sort of, you know, caffeine, it is often used, or it is, one sort of thinks of caffeine generally as giving you energy, which is a simplified way to look at it. But it's not so much that caffeine gives you energy, you know. It's more so that the actual, like, on a chemical level, what it does for you is I think, as I understand it, it sort of, it doesn't give energy. It doesn't give a sense of energy to the body, or give actual literal energy to the body in any way that, you know, any other consumable doesn't. But what it does, the actual chemical process of it, is it inhibits your ability to feel tired. So if you're drinking coffee to avoid the feeling of tiredness, you're not sort of giving yourself more energy, you're simply removing your ability to feel tired to a certain extent for a certain period of time. But yeah, I've never been a fan of caffeine myself. But yeah, mostly because I don't like having a lot of caffeine. But yeah, I'll drink tea, and I don't know, I very rarely drink soda, to be honest. And when I do prefer soda that is caffeine-free. But coffee, in addition to me simply not liking the taste of coffee, I don't like the feeling of having a lot of caffeine, basically. But yeah, I have had energy drinks in the past. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had sort of your standard, like your Red Bulls or your Monsters or what have you. Never had anything like that, but I have tried at various points. Like in college, I had some friends who were enjoying G Fuel, the G Fuel energy drink, and I thought, you know what, I'll try this. Not because I felt that I needed any more energy, because I was sleeping better in college than I was basically at any point previously in my life, and then a lot better than I was in a lot of points later on in my life, because I was very conscientious then of trying to, avoid sort of the pitfalls that a lot of college students face of, eating poorly and sleeping poorly. I was very conscientious of not doing those things, which it's good that I was conscientious of them, but it's bad that I dropped that habit because, just because I'm not in college anymore doesn't mean that I don't need to take care of myself. And a lot of the issues that I've been having lately have probably just been the result of me not doing the proper maintenance, shall we say. Issues with, coming up with the enthusiasm to stream and all that. Being able to, manage time and have the energy to work on projects and stuff. But yeah. Anyway. So where was I? Oh yeah. So, caffeine. Or more specifically, energy drinks. So G Fuel. Right. So I tried that. It was alright. Recently, as in like a few days ago, I acquired some samples of another similar drink called Gamer Sups or something like that, if I remember correctly. I believe that's what it's called. It's a bit of an odd name. But yeah, I do enjoy it a fair amount more just in terms of taste and texture than G Fuel. G Fuel, I feel like it had a bit of an odd aftertaste, and it ended up feeling a little bit gritty, I feel like, the beverage. So there were some flavors that I enjoyed, but the overall experience of drinking it was not super pleasant to me. And again, I wasn't, drinking it because I wanted caffeine or anything. So at a certain point I simply decided, you know what? This is kind of nice sometimes. Sort of this being able to block fatigue, as it were. But, this doesn't taste all that good.
Of all sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are these.
But yeah,
it might have been.
Let's take a sip.
John Greenleaf Whittier.
Sip. I don't know why I feel the need to announce my sips more now than I used to. But yeah, so eventually I decided, you know what, I'm not getting all that much out of G Fuel, so I just sort of stopped drinking it. But yeah, so now I've tried Gamer Sups. I like it a fair amount more. It sort of has less of the issues that I had with G Fuel, of it not tasting all that, or having a somewhat unpleasant aftertaste and texture. I haven't noticed those in the one time that I've had a Gamer Sups drink. I don't know, the brand name feels so odd that every time I say it I feel like surely this can't be what it's actually called. Surely this can't be what it's actually called. Surely I'm getting it wrong. But as far as I'm aware, that name is accurate. Alright, and carefully, maybe not that carefully, pull up a little bit. Yep, I should have pulled up a little bit more there, I think, but we are in. And I think we're just about to, as far as I ever got. So, once we get back up to beyond that chair there, I think we'll call it. But yeah, anyway, so long story short, I enjoy the taste of gamer sups and the lack of aftertaste and the lack of grittiness more so than I enjoyed G Fuel. Also, it's cheaper. It's significantly cheaper, which is nice. But yeah, I know that there's caffeine-free varieties of both of those, so if I make a habit of drinking either again, probably I would mostly drink the caffeine-free ones. But yeah, there's other non-caffeine things in it. Other non-caffeine things in it that have various benefits that I'm not super familiar with, because again, it's not the sort of thing that I generally concern myself with my energy level. I like to keep things low key, as it were, you know, as you may have guessed. So generally I don't concern myself with not having enough energy. And when I do feel like I don't have enough energy, I usually just want to get my sleep schedule in order, you know. I don't like the idea of being reliant on energy drinks or anything like that. I don't like the idea of taking naps, especially. Sleeping during the day is anathema to me. It just feels so wrong to sleep when the sun is up. Not to say that I get up with the sunrise or anything, because I most certainly do not. But it feels like sleeping at any time after I've gotten out of bed in the morning, any time between breakfast and dinner, anytime after breakfast but before dinner, feels terribly wrong, and I don't like it. So yeah, I don't like napping. I don't like caffeine. I like sugar a lot, but I don't like things that are too sugary, unless they are confections, basically. So, and yeah, I don't like the idea of being sort of dependent on energy drinks or on caffeine or anything like that. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I try to maintain a better sort of sleep schedule rather than supplementing it with anything else. And not to disparage anyone who does choose to do that. But it's not my choice, personally. But yes, so we're very, very close to being the exact normal amount of time that I streamed, really. But yeah, we're a little bit late, but this is we were a little bit late to start, but this is pretty much exactly the usual end time. So, let's see, I suppose we will wrap up then. I don't know what else there is to do, so we'll wrap up. So, today was getting over it. We have gotten over it to a certain extent. But yes, tomorrow will be more Tales of Arise. Thursday should be more Valhalla with Sheppy Sheps. And Friday should be more Tales of Arise. But yes, so that should all be accurate, more or less. I don't anticipate, again, things can change, but I don't anticipate at this moment anything changing in the schedule. So, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Central Time, Thursday, and 7:30 p.m. Central Time, Friday, is what I expect. And so yes, so, if anyone has any raid suggestions, as we are getting close to the end of the stream, I would be glad to hear them. If not, I can always find a target of my own. But yeah, I think that should be everything that needs to be said. But yes, so yeah, schedule. I guess there's really not all that much to be said other than the schedule, huh? But yeah, I do intend to get back to more. Yeah, I intend to beat this game. I've already mentioned that. But yeah, I do intend to beat this game on stream. I don't know necessarily that it's going to be what I go back to next week for Tuesday. Yeah, can't EVT for the suggestion? Sounds good to me. But yes. But yeah, I don't know that I'm going to go back and play this game again next week specifically. But, you know, when we play it again, we'll play it again, basically. That's all that I really know. But yes, so let's see. Raid Canty VT. I should really figure out a way to position my... I don't know why I say figure out a way to as though it's some sort of puzzle, but I should move my laptop a little bit closer to me so that I can, yeah, don't have to lean quite so far away to type on it to start up raids and whatnot. There we go. So yes, so Canty, let's see. What is Canty doing? Canty is playing Marauders, apparently. Yeah, been a while since we've seen Canty, I think. Pretty long while. I'm trying to think, what was the date will elude me no matter how long I think about it. I will not ever figure out when was the last raid, but I think they were playing a game with a train or something like that last time I dropped in, I think. Something, I want to say like Void Train or something like that, but I don't know that that's accurate. But yes, anyway. Let's see. Nah, I definitely can't remember it. Oh well. Oh, it looks like the ad's not loading for whatever reason. Oh no, it's paused. I don't know why ads pause sometime on Twitch. I don't like that. I must say I do not like it. It adds a lot of uncertainty to these raids that I don't like. I always like to try. Oh wait, hold on. We have arrived. There we go. Customary raid message. Because yeah, we're getting very close here. I was hoping to. All right, farewell. We're running out of time. Bye.